everybody. It's that time of the week again, bitch. It's actually Christmas time. Isn't that great there, boys and girls? Yeah, nobody fucking cares. This is another edition. This is the holiday edition of Old School, New School Comedy Podcast. And I am your trash-talking host, Christy Miller. And with me this week, he's kind of a combination of both. Old school, new school. But to me, he's more old school. You know, it's not because he's 100 or anything, but it's because he's been in the, no, shut up. It's just that he's been in the game a long time, and he's been doing stand-up for like 12, 13 years now, but he's been an actor for like 100. But he's really funny, and I love him. And you may have seen him on Fox News, but as a comedian, not as a piece of shit. So, but it was a really great segment, and he's super funny, and you're gonna love him. And give it up for Tom Eschelman.
Oh wow, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was the best introduction I've ever had.
Right, you're like, who's coming?
I need to take you everywhere I go now.
I know.
Can I just record that and just press play?
Well, you'll have it on recording after this.
I'm going to give to every MC, going, this is how I need to be introduced properly.
Just hold this up to the mic.
This is amazing. You're one of my favorite people to watch on stage, so this is really fun.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
I'm not even just saying that because you're just so out of bounds every time. I never know what you're going to do.
Nope, no one does. I don't even know what I'm going to do half the time because the audience takes me on a ride.
I mean, everyone just gets up there and goes, oh, here's my set, my act, and I'm like trying to remember what I'm going to say, and you're just like, fuck it, and you're just letting it fly.
I just let it fly.
I think as a comedian, like that's the best. Like you got to be like the comedian's comedian.
Yeah, it's funny because like Tammy Pescatelli and I were talking on the phone one night, and I go, this is a while back, and I go, it's really funny when I go on stage, all the comics come flying in the room. And she goes, oh my God, you're the Brian Holtzman of New York. And I'm like, oh my God, I am. My Holtzman, my baby, my Brian. I love him. Guys, if you don't know Brian Holtzman, you're really missing out because that's my baby. I love him more than life.
Will you give me some backstory? Because I don't know Brian Holtzman. This is horrible.
Get out.
I'm out. I'm already kicked. And thanks for coming. All right.
We'll be here. I'll be here all week. He ain't. No, I'm just kidding. Brian Holtzman is a Comedy Store legend. Okay, that's where I grew up, at the Comedy Store in the 90s and the early 2000s. So Brian Holtzman was Mitzi's baby. And like she would always put him on like during the week if there was like no big headlining comics. Brian Holtzman had the 10 o'clock spot. And like in the OR, the lights would be up, but they'd be on low, and the name lights were on, so you could still see. So it's like the early part of the show from 8 to 10. And then when they would bring up Holtzman, the lights would go all the way off. And it was just the lights of all the old comic names on the wall, and it was pitch black. And then there was just Brian and the spotlight against that black curtain.
Oh my God.
For a half an hour of yelling at the audience where I am like hyperventilating. Like it was like there was nights he'd get chairs thrown at him or he'd get a standing ovation.
Oh my God.
It was just because it's LA. Everybody's so uptight and they're afraid to laugh at shit that's funny because they don't want to be the asshole. They're all followers. They're not, innovators. So when Holtzman would go, you motherfucker, fuck you! We are Romans, and yelling. He says he has a gay son, and he plays baseball, and he runs around, steals all the bases, and fucks the weakest player in the ass.
Whoa! Where's the button?
Right here, this one, D. Brian Holtzman, he has a special on YouTube now, and it's just, it doesn't, to me, and I love him, but to me, because I think I've known him for 28 years.
Yeah.
That it does, to me, it doesn't do him justice, but to the regular person, it's like the wildest thing you ever saw.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like me, you have to experience me live.
You are an experience. There's no doubt.
I am a definite experience. And like Steven, the guy that was the queen that was on last week's show, he goes, I listened to your album after I met you, and he goes, I'm walking around the city peeing my pants. He goes, it was the funniest shit. It's wild. And I said, yeah, it's pretty. And I go, and even on the album, I did an hour and a half that night, but about 25 minutes of it was all off the cuff because of the audience.
I wish I had that ability to free up. Like, I need to know what the hell I'm doing up there. I would be losing my mind.
But no, you don't want to be like me because like normal comics will do 2, 3, 4 shows to record a special. I was a one and done. I said, if I don't get it in one shot, then I ain't getting it because I can't do because every show is different. So to edit them together would sound really weird. And you've known me for a while.
Yeah.
You know, each show, like I remember opening for Dice.
Oh.
And we were at Soul Joel's, and Joel's girlfriend sat in the front row both nights, right? And I opened Dice headline. She goes, I've never seen anything like you in my life. And I go, yeah, I'm a thing. And she laughs, she goes, no. She goes, comics, I see them every night and it's the same thing. They're like programmed. She goes, I saw 2 different shows. I go, yeah, the material was generally the same bits.
Yeah.
Because they were like my greatest hits at the moment, like the ones I like doing.
Right.
But I read the room and I meet the room halfway. So whatever's happening, I'm going to match it and take it and run with it. And so I just I have a set list in my head prepared, but then when I get on stage, all bets are off. Like, so why am I even preparing? You know, and because there's always somebody in the audience, and I love hecklers.
Yeah.
I love audience participation. So, because then I could just destroy you. And I use you as segues to bits. But she goes, I've never seen anything like it. And I go, you don't get out much, do you?
You should be doing an album every month.
I should be.
I'm not even kidding.
Aw.
No, but like...
But see, I'm jealous of comics like you.
You sit there and I need a joke and I need to write it.
Like I watch Tom and I'm like, he is so prepared, he's organized, everything is just done right. And I'm like, I'm the sloppiest piece of shit.
It's entertainment, and hey, I'd rather see something all over the place, but then you have there's just more magic when it's magical.
Moment.
Yeah.
For me, it's fun because then it's like each show is individual. So that audience, whatever was going on that night, it was made for them, and it makes it more personable.
I seriously feel like you should just have a camera and then have an editor and just every month go, here's my greatest hits for the month. Just like Louis C.K. and like reestablished it years ago where it's like, oh, you're going to do a special every year. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah, because we can.
And like Chris Rock's like, no, every 5 years. He's like, no, every year. And now you're like, no, every month. You should just recreate every month, bitches. Then it's like, give me every week. Yeah. You're going to be like,
every show.
here's my greatest hits for the week.
Yeah.
You just need to have you're going to spend a lot of money with an editor and just have them just chop it up. But I'm not even kidding, like, because I would want to see what was the greatest crap you did this month. Like, just insanity.
Yeah, it is insane. And people always go, I want to see her because this is how I got my record deal. And Mark Riccadonna sent my Cuomo clip to his record company.
Yeah.
And the girl that owns it, her husband was listening to it, and he goes, this is what Mark tells me. He goes, fuck all the other projects.
Yeah.
Let's get her now because I want to hear what she's got to say next. Exactly. And I'm like, Mark, that is the best compliment I've ever gotten.
And that's just, you can only be that free, I think, because you've been doing it as long as you have, and you've been around the greats that you've been around, where you've realized, you found your lane and your voice. Talk about finding your voice. I mean, that's the whole thing. Where everyone should be just taking your master class of shut the fuck up. And are you funny? Are you just fucking funny?
Yeah, are you funny or not? I don't care. Be funny.
Oh God, you're like the person who like is everyone's best friend who's so. I'm just stroking you, but like seriously,
stroke it.
Stroke it. I just want to give you this. No, but seriously, we all have that funny friend who can't ever do stand-up comedy because they're just funny in life.
Right.
But you actually are funny in life. You were that person who brought the funny friend to the stage.
Right.
That's unhinged.
Yes.
I mean, are you loaded when you're on straight?
I'm straight edge.
You are totally
I don't
clean.
Do anything. My drug of choice is the iron.
Oh, God.
No, I couldn't even handle being fucked up on stage. In my 20s, I'd have a cocktail, and that would fuck me up so bad, and then it would just, like, I can't do this. My brain's too foggy after a drink, and I'm like, I don't even like alcohol anyway.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I'm funner. I have more fun being so sober and alert.
Right.
Because my act is a lot of energy, and I need all that energy. I can't be fucked up.
Right.
And so it's like, and plus I want to be alert to hear all the great stuff happening in the audience, all the heckles, all the bullshit. I want to be able to see everything because it's fun for me.
Right.
And when people chatter, I'm like, yes.
Do people heckle you a lot? Like, I feel like because you know how I feel like comedy's changed so much because everybody just sees so many TikTok things where we're talking to the audience, so they don't shut the fuck up anymore. They come to the show expecting to be part of the show. Yeah. I have people go tell me, I want to come to your show so you can give me shit. And I'm like, no, I I mean, I'll do it for a minute or two, but I'm not. It's not my thing to like. I'm gonna Matt Rife and just go for like a while.
Yeah, and I'm not like Matt Rife either because I actually have material. Hold on.
Put a boom, boom, put a. Oh,
but I'm not a Matt Rife where I'm going to do crowd work. Like to me, one of the masters of that is Jessica Kirson.
Yeah.
And I was funny because I was telling Gina Savage that I want to do an album of all crowd work and see how it goes, just to try it.
What are you talking about?
And all of a sudden, Jessica Kirson does full crowd work special, and I'm like, God damn it! Great minds think alike.
No one's gonna mind.
No.
Just have another one. I mean, those are the best ones to watch.
Right. I wanted to go up and do an album. What do you think? And just sit up there and just like walk the audience and just annihilate them. Like Donahue,
oh my God.
Are you there? You're like, like the whole.
What if the whole point was to see how long it would take for you to walk the whole lot, all the way down to the last person. You have a packed house, and the album goes until you've walked literally see how long someone will sit there and just take. Then you're gonna get down to one or two people, and you just start. And they don't know the whole thing is to see.
It's a setup.
How quick it might take hours. Like, will someone just sit there, take abuse, and just, oh my God, please do this, please. You take the challenge. You're like, I walk them in 8 minutes. Every single one.
I'll walk them in 5. Well, walk that audience. Remember, name that too.
It's called Walk That. Oh my God.
That'd be a great game show. You should host it.
I love it
because you're straight. Because you're so controlled.
I'm so controlled. Here she is.
But you're so the thing I'm jealous of you is that it's so structured perfectly. And you just have everything. You know exactly what's going to happen. And it's like, I'm so jealous because my brain doesn't work like that. And I would be so jealous of comics like you every day going, I need to be like Teddy Smith.
Yeah.
And my old buddy, I remember this too back in the day, my old buddy Bob Oshak, who became a big writer like on Best Damn Sports Show and all this other stuff. And I don't know what else he's on. I've lost track of him. I'm sure he's killing it. But he was one of those guys like you that had it all written out. And it was almost like he wrote this novel.
Yep.
And he was reciting this novel of a story through the whole thing. And I'm just like, I am so jealous. Like, I want my brain to slow down to do that.
Right.
Because it's so, hamster, oh, look, a light. It's like, it's so all over the place that it's like, I'm jealous of that.
When I started, I did more what you sort of do, where I was improvising on stage the whole time.
Right.
And people would want to come see it, like, we don't know what you're going to do.
Right.
And all this. But I would just bomb so hard. I couldn't handle the bombs. Like, I was in like 2 years in, and I thought I was getting somewhere, and people wouldn't know what I was doing kind of what your thing was, where it's just, let it just fly. And it was interesting when it's really good.
Right.
But like, you are so good at it now, but like when you're new trying to do that, I couldn't handle it. I quit for like 8 years. I did 2 years and then bombed in front of 300 people so hard, like not one laugh, and I'm just like, I don't know what so when I came back to it, I'm like, I need to like learn how to write jokes and get in and out of bits, so I'm not, just for my own sanity. I just didn't have the makeup, whatever, the fortitude, I don't know words, but like just to be able to handle the bombs when you handle that. So seriously, how do you handle it? But you have so much stuff. I
really find it funny.
You don't bomb though now. Like if you do, it's a weird night.
It's not a bomb, but it's like I can lose an audience, but then I can get them back.
Yeah.
And I've taken it. I was one night, and it just came out, and I didn't mean to say it, and I didn't mean it that way, and it came out, and I had them, and I lost them.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, why did I say that? That's not something I would say. Because it was, I meant the girl, she was pretty, she was from Philly, she was a cop. Okay. And I said, wow, it's a good thing you're a cop because you're hot, you would get raped. But I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like dudes would be hitting on you, but it came out wrong.
You said rape.
Lost the whole audience. And I still had another 15 minutes left to go because I was headlining. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm digging out of that hole. And they weren't coming back.
No.
Like they stiffened up on me. But they were like listening.
Yeah.
And this one girl, they were listening. And then at the end, people were hugging me like, you're so funny. And I'm like, why did I feel like I was trying to work a funeral home? Like I was in the morgue. Hey, you hear this one about the guy with the toe tag? It was really, and I knew right when I lost him, I said, all right, you got to get him back. And I got him back. I did share stuff and did the fun stuff. And I got him back. But I'm just like, I was like, I felt really bad for saying that. And I think that's why I couldn't get him back, because I felt so horrible that I said that, because I didn't mean that.
Yeah, of course not.
And it came out wrong, and I'm like, God damn it, now you can't back it up now. You just got to commit and just keep moving.
Once you do cop rape, I mean, that you're in a hole.
Depends what he looks like.
Oh, God.
It's only rape if he's ugly.
Wow.
If he's hot, it's a date.
We're just smoking.
Because it's date rape. That Barry Manilow song?
No.
Daybreak.
Oh, Daybreak.
Date rape. Because it's date rape. I'm sorry.
Date rape was invented when I was in college, and they.
Hi.
Right.
Thank God.
And I just remember freshman year, they all came in to the dorms, like the women's groups, going, so there's this thing now called date rape. You can rape your date, and all of us are like,
you could do that?
we were like, we were horrible. We're just idiot guys. But literally, the only thing up to that point, this was in 1990.
Right.
Or they were like. Up to that point, rape was just something that happened in an alley,
right? With
some guy, some horrible thing.
Guy, yeah.
But then they're trying to introduce date rape, and everyone was perplexed, and they had to go through and explain. It was so bad, but it was obviously needed to happen. Of course you could, but then they came out with you can also rape your wife. Yeah. And everyone's just like, whoa. And I remember there'd be 6 months where everybody's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But
you
thank
can,
God.
And
yes.
I continue to prove that point.
Yes, so I mean.
Is this thing on? Never mind. And it's dark.
So date rape, now I'm canceled too. So there we go. Date rape.
Date rape the musical.
All right, I think I'm done with my career now. Thank you very much. That was fucking great.
Oh God. So you did this segment on Fox News, and it was about comedy, or what was it about?
Yeah,
I watched it and then I forgot.
Right.
53.
Yeah, same. So they've been bringing on comics just to kind of plug what they're doing and talk about the news in a funny way, on their Saturday night, late night type of thing.
Okay.
So it's not anything opinionated about politics necessarily.
Oh, good.
But it's one of those just fluff piece, and it's great. I guess. Mike, I think they just started leaning into bringing comedians on, and a lot of great comedians have done it. Zarna Garg did it, Chris Stefano.
Nice.
And it's these are all legit people. Of course I'll be involved in this. And then, yeah. But I mean, who knew? But who knew? Some things with depending on where you are on the political spectrum, the weird thing is everything shifts, and all of a sudden they're the big proponents of free speech. All of a sudden, and they
really aren't. The ones that get on soapboxes aren't. It's funny because it's you think that they wouldn't care. And when I play red states, and this is not political because I don't give a shit. I just want everybody to win. I just want us all at the dinner table. I don't care. I love everybody. I want us all to win, and we're all in this together. So, but when I play red states, I get more problems than I do in blue states.
Oh. Yeah,
I get censored.
Oh, because you're
you can't do this joke, you can't say this, you 100%. Can't say that, and I'm like, huh?
When you're someone like yourself, that's when you're a little unhinged and you're working from the cuff. I find if I go to red states that they're just bigger laughers, just because they don't have as many antennas up for what's inappropriate, but for someone like yourself, which is kind of.
But it's also because I'm a woman.
Oh.
Remember that. It's not about political. It's about being a woman. And when you have a strong-minded woman like myself, up there speaking her mind and not giving a fuck and having fun, it's really hard for some people to take.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
If I was a dude, they wouldn't care. But because I'm a woman and I look the way I look and I talk the way I talk and I think the way I think and I feel the way I feel, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not the conventional 53-year-old. I never got married. I never had kids. I take care of myself. I do stand up. I don't have a real job.
Yeah, that's the same as me, all that, except the take care of myself part. Yeah. But other than that,
but you know what I mean? It's an unconventional lifestyle. And for a woman that didn't really give a shit, I mean, I'm seeing somebody now, but who knows that's going to happen. Whatever.
Yeah.
We could get married or we could not. Who knows? It's just, I'm just enjoying it while it lasts. But at the same time, it's it wasn't the thing I was focusing on. So as a woman, that's what you're taught to focus on.
Of course.
And no man's going to put up with that.
I mean, it's easy to forget because I'm around so many comedian women, and man, you guys are all just like super confident and super edgy, or just like pushing the envelope and like all these great characteristics. Yeah. So you forget. You take the average person in the middle of the country.
Comics are in a bubble.
Of course. Big time. So that's a total. Do you? I had something and now I forgot what it was about. You're a woman. You're
very good.
You're very good.
Thank you.
Oh no, I'm trying to think where I was going with that thought. But I know you were. I mean, things have to have changed massively for women in the comedy game since when you started. Because I mean, it was up. I mean. Now I have just as many female friends who do comedy on great levels.
Right.
But it was a boys' club on top of boys. Like there's like 2 or 3 women you could think of back then.
Like when I started, there was, like back in the 80s, I started in 95. And at the Comedy Store where I grew up, where I was born and raised, on the wall where the stairs to the belly room to the back hallway.
I know it,
was a whole thing that Mitzi had painted and written about females in comedy, why the belly room was created.
Oh, right.
Was for women.
That's right.
Because 8 out of 10 comics were men. So there was only 2 women per 10 comics back then in the 80s.
That's surprising. I would have thought it'd be 9 out of 10 or like 1 out of 20.
In the 70s, probably it was more that. But in the 80s, it got
a little more.
It was like 8 out of 10. And if you look at the lineups, it was. And there was nights there was never a woman on the lineup.
And why would they want to be on? Like they
Right. And like, like back in the late 70s, Elaine Boozler was the woman. She's like someone I really look up to because back then she kind of ran the Comedy Store. They were all Kinnison, all of them were afraid of her because she talked shit. She didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, queen. But like in the 90s is when it really, like when I started, it was really opening up doors for more women to be included. And Mitzi Shore was a huge proponent for females. Right. She really nurtured us. Like when she liked you, she would give you everything. Yeah. I wasn't the conventional like main room comic, the funny, clean. I was the late night OR comic. And I told her, I said, I want to get better. I want to get stronger. Put me on the death spot. And the death spot was after Joe Rogan, after Carlos Mencia, after Eddie Griffin, if he would ever get off stage. I think he's still on stage now in 1997. But, it's just, after Dice, after Dom Irrera, I want to follow these guys because that's the death spot because they're basically the headliner for the night, even though it's an 8 to 2 show. So they would go on at 10 and they'd get a half hour instead of 15, but they always did an hour and 20. They always blew the light because their name was on the marquee and stage time was rough back then because it was a dark time. Yeah. So when they had their names up, it was their people, and then when they would finish, half the room would get up and leave.
I remember, yeah.
So I would go on after Rogan and those people were like, they just got, he just fucked a stool for 20 minutes as a lion. And all the women were moist and all the dudes are dying laughing. And then they get up to leave and then I got to go on. It's like, but with my energy, I took advantage. Yeah. And I'm like, Rogan had such killer energy. He's such a performer that, it'd just be boom, like this big tsunami coming at you. So I just grabbed my surfboard and rode the wave and just kind of coasted the audience back until late night. Yeah. And it was fun. And one of the old managers, he goes, dude, you're the perfect person to follow Rogan. Everybody dies because they can't match his energy. Yeah, everyone. So, but I asked Mitzi for that. Like, I want to get better. So put me in the death spots. I'll do it because I want to be able to handle situations. Yeah. And thank God, because it really helped me grow.
Who were the women in coming up with you in the 90s there? Because I'm trying to think, because it's like Roseanne and Ellen.
Roseanne was in the 80s.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think the 90s.
In the 90s, it was Brett Butler. Yeah. Tammy Pescatelli was coming in. She started at the same time I did. Oh God.
I'm putting you on the spot. No, I'm just trying. I was just trying to remember. I know, because my brain. I seriously. Like, I'll forget names of friends sometimes that I know for years. And I'll be looking at you.
But
Christy,
but
that's it.
But to think about it though, I was one of the only women in the mid-late 90s besides Tammy. It was Tammy, me, And Brett Butler was already, making it. She already had the show by then, but she was from she hit in the early 90s. But really, there really wasn't any.
Right.
They never really did anything. And now it's like, but like out here, I wasn't out here. So like you had the Jessica Kirsons out here coming up that started out, that whole crew. And so it's like I didn't really have any girlfriends in comedy. All my friends were dudes. Like it was me, Sam Tripoli, Stevie D. I'm trying to all the dudes I roll with, Eric Marino. Then like Sebastian came in, but him and I didn't really get along.
No.
Because he's too clean, and I hate clean comedy. And he's an asshole. He hated me. I scared him. He hated me. Oh, it was great.
Like in real life, or it's like from a comedic standpoint?
No, in real life.
In real life.
He hated me.
That's even funnier.
I tortured him. Oh,
really?
He was such a germaphobe, and he was so...
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, he was so like quirky, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy? And I'm just so like laid back, like, come on, get over yourself. He hated me. Oh my God, he hated me.
That's so funny, especially in that environment, to be that type of guy where you're the clean guy, the germaphobe, controlling everything. You just pop into the Comedy Store and everyone's like, whoa, this is a biker bar. Yeah. Because that's what it was like. I remember back then.
Animal House. Out of all the frat houses, this was Animal House.
It was insane.
We were the longest yard. Like I hang out with Joey Diaz all the time.
Oh my God.
And Uncle Joey's crazy, and Brian Holtzman, and and Rogan. Like these are all the guys I came up with, and so and Bobby Lee, and we're Steve Renazizi, and like all these idiots that are my family, long time. Like these are my long lifeline brothers, But I, if you think about it, I never really hung out with girls that much because there weren't any.
Yeah.
And, but it was just like, now there's like so many, but still, I still see lineups.
Yeah. I mean.
Really?
Because there's not as many women, you mean, that should be on? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Because I hate theme shows. Obviously, look at me.
Theme show.
I have my own theme show. Like all female shows, all black shows, all Latino shows, all white shows. I can't stand like a homogenous show.
When are we doing the funny show?
Yeah. Are you funny?
The funny show.
I could care less if you identify as a fucking sandbox and your pronoun is glass. I don't care. Are you funny? If you're hilarious, then get on stage and go entertain the room. I don't care, but it's like I still see lineups, it's inclusive. The more inclusive they are, the more exclusive they are. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, and like they're so worried about checking boxes, they don't check the funny box.
Right. That is weird.
I don't know if you're noticing this. You're probably not, because you're a much more poised, better, what's the word? Disciplined comic than I am. You're more liked than I am out here. So
maybe not.
But it's just ageism is really
there's always
still
that.
Prevalent, and it's so funny that comedy was the one place that we all felt safe of getting older.
Of all the things in the entertainment industry, it probably is. I mean,
I've been told by clubs I'm too old.
Right.
You haven't made it yet, you're never going to make it. So, we're not going to waste time giving you spots when there's an up-and-coming kid who might make it. I've heard that.
Yeah, well, you're doing a special every month now.
I know. Hold on, I don't need you.
And blowing out a YouTube channel with, whatever. You can work around it. That's why.
Exactly. But it's just so funny to me that everything's supposed to be so inclusive and so woke that they're so asleep.
Oh God!
I'm trying to be profound, people. I'm really trying. This is not working.
And
I'm
now
just going back to being a piece of shit.
And then we got sad, and everything took a turn. I have a feeling this is going to be a different energy than last week's show.
Way different.
Way different. It's like, okay, I really got it going with my gays, and then we brought it all the way down. Let's bring it all the way down, get it real.
Right. So here's a fun question I always like to ask. What is there any, I love telling hell gig stories. We all do.
Oh my God.
Tell me a hell gig story that's just so crazy and funny.
This is, I don't know if it's funny, but it was painful. Okay, babe, I showed up for a show, and as a comedian, you always know an outdoor gig is already.
It's already sucked.
I'm already an outdoor gig.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it was strangely during the day.
Of course it was.
So I'm thinking it's going to be in.
Keep talking. I got you. I'm mother. Keep going. Just keep talking.
I'm thinking it's going to be in a club indoors somewhere.
Sure.
And of course, no, it's outside the club. Like it was like one of these comedy festivals, so you don't know what you're getting. like I'm gonna be, I got accept. You send something in, they go, we accept you. We think you're hilarious.
So pay $50 and we'll tell you you're great.
Yeah.
Come do our show.
Your show is on Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm like,
Following a juggling poodle.
It wasn't far off. So I show up and it's like, it's outside, not inside.
Right.
Am I
just shut up, keep talking, just ignore me. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
You're touching me. That was my bitch tit. But I show up, it's not even in a club, it's outside.
Oh my God.
And then it's not only outside, it's only like 15 people. But it's moms with children.
Oh no!
Like 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Why wasn't I booked for this?
I don't know. And I just talked at that point. I was just talking about dating and weird, bad things in the bedroom. And I'm like, I don't have any other material, so we're just gonna do it. And it's not just outside with moms and children. There's like these tents where they're having a little festival, and it's like a dog. Like a pet festival for dogs. I knew
there was dogs involved.
There was. So there's like people like could hear the comedy, but they were just 10 feet away. They're doing all these tents where you buy dog food for your dog, like it's like an open flea market for your dog. So now there's dogs barking during the set, little kids talking to their mom. And I'm not even making this up. So like those are like all the things: daytime, children, dogs barking in the set. And then I'm not even making this up. It's right next to a train station. And like literally the train tracks are like, I can see they're like 25 feet away. Like it's as close to a train station as you can possibly.
Was it Soul Joel's?
This is something in Hoboken.
Oh my God.
And then during my set, a train comes by. I'm not even kidding. I have dogs and I'm dying because I'm talking about Magnum condoms and there's children. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't have any other material.
I said, can you fit in a kid, if you can fill a Magnum, call me after the show.
Oh my God.
I'll babysit you.
I walk up and it's like the train's going through in the middle of that, and like then the dogs are because the train's going crazy and the kids are looking, mommy, and like I'm like, so seriously, who's on Tinder? Who's on Tinder? Anybody? So bad.
Oh, that's great.
I walked off. One of those times where you just want, like, I tell people when they're coming up in comedy, I don't know how many times a year where I walk off a stage. Thankfully, it doesn't happen nearly as often, but there were so many times where I just walk, where you don't want to make eye contact with anybody, and you just want to leave, and the feeling in your gut of embarrassment and shame is what most people structure their whole lives not to feel that.
Right.
Like my aunt in Ohio, her whole life is not to feel that pit of shame, and it's perfectly set up. That's how you should structure your life. But ours, we're just going out there and going, oh, God, why did I do that to myself? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But if you fight through it, But
it makes you a better comic in the long run, because when you deal with hell gigs, getting heckled by trains and dogs and 5-year-olds, and miserable mothers, it's just it makes you stronger. It's like battle wounds. It's like your Purple Heart.
It is that. You don't realize it at the time. After time, you realize, oh, you have to go through all of that.
You have to. It makes you better.
Yeah, but I mean, oh my God, you've had those feelings, I'm sure, where you're just like, why?
Why am I here? I do this all the time. I'm like, remind me again when I get asked to do this. I text people. I text my boyfriend. I'll text Teddy. I'll text Gina. Remind me again why I did this, and please tell me next time when someone asks me to do this to say no. Just remind me. Just remind, please, because I can't.
Right.
But I fall for it anyway.
Do you get this? Like, I always know when it didn't. You always know when it didn't. You know when it didn't go well. But my favorite is when people they don't know what to say, and so like you don't want to make eye contact or talk, but the only thing they say is just, so, how do you feel about it? And like, I'm like, because if you do well, that people are just like, oh my God, what's the Instagram? Can I be your best friend? Can I follow you? Can I stalk you? And then, but when it doesn't go well, they're just like, how do you feel about it? It felt like I'm in my head. Like, what are you talking about?
Some of my best bombs were opening for Paul Mooney, especially in the very beginning when I'm trying to figure out how to navigate his audiences. Right in the very beginning. And there was one night, it was just dreadful. right? And I was just like, God, I sucked. And it was just bad. And I felt bad for the audience, and they hated me. And I love when urban audiences just tell you straight up you suck. It's the greatest feeling in the world because you know where you stand. You know, you don't have, there's no bullshit. There's no awkwardness. There's no like uncomfortable tension when you see the person. It's just, you know, straight up. So Mooney sits out in the lounge at Caroline's, you know, signing his DVDs. Back then we had DVDs. And he would sign his DVDs and take pictures with fans. And he would make me sit there with him. And my favorite one was, oh, Paul, oh my God, you're the greatest. I love you so much. Oh, and you too.
Oh God, it's so belittling.
Like, oh, you were so funny. To like Robin Montague, she was the host. Oh my God, you were so funny. I love you so much. Oh, and you too.
So humbling.
And I'm like, it's just like, it was it's so like degrading, but it was so, for me, I love that shit because it's just layers of like protection or layers of veil that you're peeling through and seeing the real shit and feeling the real. That's why I love being straight edge. Yeah. Because I get to feel everything raw and organically, not, you know, watered down, smashed down or oppressed or anything. It's just like, oh, this is it. And to me, that's the worst it's going to be. Then it's all fine from there. I don't have to like delay it.
Yeah, it's all perspective. I mean, you learn that. But.
Yeah, and I don't really trip on what people, because I have a motto in life, you know, and there's 4 things to, like if someone hates me, or if they heckle me, or if they think I suck, or whatever. I just say, well, does it put food on the table? Does it pay my rent? Does it put clothes on my back, or does it eat my pussy? If it does none of those things, it has no power over me. So I just...
You totally need to be a motivational speaker.
I know, right?
Could you please just start booking yourself motivational straight talk with Christy? Yeah. And it's like, so does you know, the food, table, money thing, eat my pussy. And like, I feel
that's it. And it's just like, but if you put it in like that, if you look at it like that, like, yeah, it puts everything in perspective to not give a shit about the small things.
I want to go into somebody's home where that's like on a placard, where like there's no
like on a pillow, like sew it into a pillow.
I got you. That's the Christymillercomedy.
That eat, pray, love. Yeah. Does it feed you? Does it put clothes on your back, pay your rent, or eat your pussy? Don't worry about it.
Have you thought about doing that? I feel like you are spitting little wisdoms throughout this podcast. Like someone needs to cut up like your like your little motivational montage.
I should be like Chris Farley when he was the motivational speaker.
Down by the river.
Yeah.
I mean, you absolutely could. That was, no, I mean, you've lived it, so you have the war wounds. Yeah. Have you ever thought about being... You kind of a little bit are, I feel like.
Well, I had this idea for a TV show. What do you think?
Okay.
It's kind of like a Dr. Phil, but not so much like, not being like diplomatic or anything, but just like, no, but for comics.
Even more straight.
And just tell, dude, you suck. Quit comedy. Or, dude, you're good. You just need to get out of your own fucking way because your head's up your ass. Oh. You love the smell of your own farts. You need to stop.
Oh, God. That would be so funny.
Just roasting them.
Yeah, just a Dr. Phil, but on HBO.
Yeah.
Where it's like Unhinged or
just Unhinged,
Netflix.
But it's just like, you know, it's real shit. Like, dude, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm not a Dr. Phil where I'm trying to fix your life. I'm just telling you what a piece of shit you are. That's up to you what you want to do.
Yes, I would watch that. Like if you had just like Middle America or just any like just in a studio audience and like you're bringing up whose kid is it or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, like Scared Straight. Remember Scared Straight when we were kids?
Yeah, what was that?
It was the movie about going to prison and if you fuck around, deal drugs or commit crimes, you end up in prison because you think you're so cool to do that as a teenager, and they take them to the prisons and show them what life is like behind bars. Right. That shit was brilliant.
I mean, that is the way to do it, but I love it straight talk with, you know, Christy.
Yep.
Like, I feel like wait, have you pitched this? This sounds like it could easily happen.
I haven't pitched it yet.
Okay, we'll do it.
So be the producer on the show.
All right, I got it. I got some money.
Oh, you son of a bitch. We ran out of light. All right, hold on. We'll be right back. And we're back again because I ran out of light. Isn't that sad on Christmas? We ran out of light.
I love the
baby light. Jesus burnt it out. Anyway, whenever I want to say something really fucked up, I go into share.
Oh, as you should.
Sweetie,
oh my God.
The baby Jesus is illegitimate. Write that in your Bible. Woo!
Oh my God. it's disturbing because you have all the mannerisms, but you also you look so much like
her. Yeah. That's my new opening joke now. It's like, because I come out and I make them play Believe, and I'll sing to it because I sound like her. And I'm like, this dude's going, when did Cher start bench pressing? And it's just so stupid. It's funny. So then I talk about her Christmas album that she has out. Buy it, by the way. It's amazing.
Isn't she like 90, but she still looks the same age?
77.
But no, but
and her boyfriend is 37.
Yes, but she looks like this. She's looked the same ever since I remember on TV. Like she looks 32.
Yeah, because she's Cher. She is Cher. She is a unicorn. She is the queen. She's my mother. I wish she was my mama. That's why I call her mama.
Oh,
she's mama. You know, she's 70. Sweetie, when am I going to feel old? She did an interview.
Oh my God.
And they're asking her how she likes age. And she's like, when am I going to feel old? I'm like, well, honey, if you stop putting Lamborghini parts in a 63 Dodge Dart over there, then you'd feel it. Jeez. Little Archie Bunker for the kids.
They're not going to know who that is.
No, they won't. But I know, and that's all that matters. And you know, that's all that matters.
Norman Lear.
Norman Lear, God rest his soul.
Yes.
And lived to be 101. Hey, he's the same age as the freeway. Nothing? Come on, people. Anyway.
Was it 101?
He was 101.
Man.
But, all right. So I love to wrap up the show with 2 stupid questions.
Yeah.
People always ask like really deep questions. I like to ask dumb shit.
Yeah.
And stuff that nobody really cares about because I think it's funny. And I love this because it's just a fun perspective. And because we always talk about ourselves. So question 1 is there a bit a comic has done that made you go, God damn it, that's brilliant. I wish I had written that.
You know, this is weird because it's like a 5-year-old bit, but it just came like into my whatever.
Right.
I heard it this year, and it's a little bit political, and I don't talk politics or how.
Right, me either.
But it was such. I don't do a lot of metaphors or comparisons like a lot of comedians do that. And John Mulaney had one during the. Am I doing?
No, just a little closer.
Oh, this here.
Yeah. Yeah, don't when I do from now on when I do cues, just follow it. Just keep talking. I'm not here to interrupt you.
Direction. I'm not good at it.
I know.
This is why I'm single.
He put the erection in direction. Nothing. Anyway, back to John Mulaney.
Could you please have one of these on stage? I feel like you need a
I
rim
need
shot.
one. Oh, I have one on my phone.
Right, that's what I mean. I feel like it might, no. So Mulaney has this bit from 5 years ago where he's describing the whole Trump situation.
Right.
And he makes the analogy that it's like a horse loose in a hospital. And it's like no one knows what the horse is going to do, least of all the horse. And you think it's, but you don't know. Your parents don't know. You don't know. It's the horse. It's loose in the hospital. And he has something about this. Then this hippopotamus comes in and goes, I'm going to blow up the hospital. I'm a crazy dictator. It's like supposedly Kim Jong-un or or whatever.
One of those idiots.
And he does some act out about, it's like, you stay away from the horse. He's from the hospital, or I'll kill you with my hoofs because I'm a crazy horse. And the hippopotamus is like, well, I'm a crazy hippopotamus. I'm going to blow everything up. And oh my God, he just goes off on it. But like he stays for 5 minutes in just one metaphor.
Oh,
milks the whole thing.
Oh, that's great.
And everyone's like, even if you're a Trump supporter, we all know that time where it's like, yeah, we don't know what he's going to do. And that was the allure.
Yeah.
I mean, partly I get it because like all of us hate politics, like all normal people, I think, for the most part. So having him being unhinged was kind of the allure. So he is a horse. If he gets back in, he's gonna be even more of a horse. What? I don't know. A dinosaur loose in the hospital.
He'll be a buffalo.
There you go. I mean, God, that bit was crazy. So I've watched that. I've sent that to a few people, and even my Trump friends were like, "Oh yeah, that's so classic." But Mulaney just nailed it.
Yeah, that's great. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I wish I could write more like metaphor type jokes, but man.
But it's not your voice, so don't worry.
Yeah, right.
No, just stay with what you do is funny.
No,
and you're great, and I love watching you, and you're very smart. You're very good at what you do. So don't worry about other people. Just keep doing Tom.
Okay, because I was gonna start doing Christy Miller.
Oh, then you'll be banned for life.
What's going on? Boom, boom, boom. Hey, pussy, eat it.
Look at this fucking guy over here.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, hey. That's only vowels I know. Anyway, so my last question is, I don't have any jokes. is what is your go-to street joke or dad joke or whatever? Because we love a street joke.
People always ask like comedians for street jokes.
Yeah, always, because it's hilarious.
And the problem is, I love a good street joke. And have you noticed this? I can remember all the stuff I'm going to talk about on a stage.
Right.
I hear a good street joke, I'm like, I got to remember that one. Someone's going to ask me on a podcast.
Well, Mooney used to close his shows with street jokes, but he would Mooney-ize them.
Oh.
And he would destroy because he'd put the Mooney twist to them.
What did he do? What was the Mooney twist?
Like, making it racial.
Oh, God.
And doing it, and his set it up, but then he would throw a Mooney twang in there or something racial, and it was just so funny. Like, there was a man walking on the beach, and he found a genie lamp, and he rubs it, and a genie pops out, and he goes, so a black man's walking on the beach, finds a genie lamp, rubs it, and the genie pops out, and he goes, I will grant you 2 wishes. He goes, what about, I thought I was getting 3 wishes. He goes, no, because you're an N-word, you only get 2. It was just so crazy, and the crowd would go nuts because it's just so real. Like, no, brother, you only get 2 because it's the white man's world. It was brilliant how he would do this shit, and he would always do like, a crazy black man escapes from the sane asylum and hides in a convent. And there's Mother Teresa, Sister Elizabeth, and Sister Mary walking on the grounds at night. And the crazy black man's butt naked, and he jumps out of the bushes, and he's like, what? And it's the biggest, blackest dick you ever saw. So Sister Mary grabs a knife and goes, Mother Teresa, where do you want me to start cutting? And Mother Teresa goes, here and here.
Oh, God.
These are Mooney jokes, these are street jokes, Mooney-ized, and it was just like, he was the king.
He is one of the best. Oh my God.
I'm honored to have called him Dad.
Right?
He was just the greatest man. Anyway,
so one that somebody told me recently, or I heard, and I actually remember this one, and it's just silliness, but it's like some guy goes into the doctor, and he's like, doctor, I have 5 penises. And the doctor's like, well, how are your pants fitting? And he goes, like a glove. So dumb.
So dumb.
I can only remember 3 lines. If you give me any more of a street joke,
it's done.
I couldn't do it.
So, it's so funny.
I won't be doing that on stage, though.
That's his closer. Anyway, and I love you so much, Tom, and I'm so glad you were here for the Christmas show, people.
Merry
This is
Christmas.
our last show of the year. We will be back. There may be a secret little surprise New Year's Eve show, but who knows? Stay tuned for that. But otherwise, we'll be back the first week of January, the first Monday, whatever that is. I don't know, January 7th or something like that. I don't know. But we'll be back with all new episodes then. So I'm so glad you were here to close out the year with me. I'm so glad we had this time together.
Thank you. And I can't sing.
That's Carol Burnett.
Oh, thank you. Oh, well, in that case.
Yeah, grab your earphone.
Is it this one?
Yeah, wiggle your earphone, your left ear.
Is it the left?
Yeah, it's the left ear.
But
so it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Anyway. So tell everybody where they can find you on the socials, darling.
TomEschelman.com and Tom Eschelman all over the social media. ESCHELMAN.
Fantastic.
That's it.
And you can always follow me at Christymillercomedy. You can follow this show on Instagram as well at Old Skool New Skool Comedy, spelt with a K, because I'm so controversial. And if you love me, please follow the show. If you hated me, I've been Kathy Griffin. And don't forget, please like, subscribe, and share the show. We love you.